Welcome to Lying Den Studio. Congratulations on your new book, A Howling in Brooklyn.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So now, tell us about yourself, your family, and where you're from and where you grew up.
Thank you. As you know, my name is Luciano di Giallonardo. Say that 10 times really fast. My late parents were born and raised in Abruzzo, Italy, the beautiful mountains of L'Aquila. They immigrated to the United States. Yours truly, I was born and raised Brooklyn, New York. Bensonhurst, to all my fellow readers out there from Brooklyn.
Okay.
And I love Brooklyn. Brooklyn is my heart, is my home.
So what do you love about Brooklyn?
What I love about Brooklyn? Where I grew up, the people still believe the Italian-American feast, where I grew up in the neighborhood, 18th Avenue. The good friends that I grew up with, the bakeries, the pastry shops, and the pizza. And let's not forget the beautiful women of Brooklyn.
So what inspired you to write this book?
Well, one day I was watching reruns of The Sopranos. I'm a big Soprano fan. Tony Soprano, Christopher, everyone on the group. So when it ended, I was flipping through the channels and I was watching a horror movie. Benicio del Toro as the Wolfman. I love horror movies. So then I started thinking, what if the mob fought something that was unholy and so pure evil that they couldn't beat it? That's when I came up with the idea, Howling in Brooklyn, the werewolf versus the mob.
So what themes and messages did you aim to explore in your book?
I wanted to create a book where the audience could capture where the book was taking place. In parts of Brooklyn and the neighborhood, naming some areas and the characters I created. I didn't just want to create a book. I wanted to create a book where the reader would say to themselves, wow, this is very interesting. I know this area.
Now, how did you develop this character in this book? How did you develop these particular characters in this book?
I created two main characters, Danny Marco and Nicky Ginetti, where Danny Marco is the hero. Nicky Ginetti is the son of the nephew of the mob boss. And I just don't want to create characters again. I wanted to create two characters where the people will say, the reader will say, yay for Danny Marco, boo Nicky Ginetti, I hate him, I can't stand him. I want the people to visualize these characters in their head as the reader is reading them. Wow, these characters are strong, these characters are evil.
So like a villain and a hero?
Villain and hero type of character, yes.
Okay. Now, how do you hope the readers will react to your book?
I want them to react by when they're reading the book and saying to themselves, this story is amazing. This guy, Danny Marco, I don't want to give away too much for the reader who hasn't read it yet.
No, please don't.
But I want the reader to get really into Danny Marco and saying, this guy is a true hero. And I want the reader to say, I hate Nicky Ginetti. I hope he gets what's coming to him at the same time. And I want them to keep turning the pages. I don't want to put the book down and read it tomorrow. Keep turning the pages and see what happens in the next chapter.
Now, have you thought about turning this into a movie? And who would you envision playing these characters in the movie?
Absolutely. The movie is in my head 1,000 times a day. Now, in the book, there is the mob boss. His name is Angelo Ginetti. I love to see Armand Assante play that character. He would fit that character perfectly. And as for the other people who could be in a movie, Chaz Palmieri, Vincent D'Onofrio, I would love to see them in the movie. Marissa Tomei, guaranteed. But those, Armand Assante and Chaz Palmieri, like I said, Armand Assante, I would pick him to play the mob boss.
So speaking about Armand Assante, why do you see him playing that mob boss?
I've seen him in many movies. I've seen him in playing Gotti. He was phenomenal. I recommend that movie to anyone who hasn't seen it. I've watched it over and over and several times. I do not get disappointed. The man is a genius. He played that part perfect.
Now, if this does become a movie, do you see it as a comedy? Do you see it as a thriller, as a horror? Like how do you envision it? Give us a little idea of how you would envision it.
There's three aspects to the book. There is a little bit of comedy, thriller, and horror. I combined it perfectly so that way the reader, going through the pages, oh, that's funny what they said about this guy. But then when you get to the next page, the individual turns into a werewolf and goes after the mob. I combined it perfectly. I've heard from many of my readers on social media, how did you blend this so perfectly? They love it.
So this book is out now, right?
It's out right now, yes.
Where can I buy this book?
Right now, you can only order it on barnesandnoble.com. It's not on the shelves.
Okay.
If you go on Barnes & Noble, ladies and gentlemen, order your copy. I guarantee you will love it. If you do, I would appreciate a review. Remember, not Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Anyone buys a copy, free autograph for everyone.
Now, before we go, are you working on anything else? You want to say anything, or you want to keep that secret?
Yes, I'm working on a Holly in Brooklyn Part 2.
Okay.
And I'm also working on another book regarding a Sasquatch that comes out of Central Park in New York City.
Oh, he's giving away some gems here.
Yes. Now, why is he coming out of Central Park in 2024? You have to read the book when it's out.